Hello, and welcome to the Freddie Mac Connect session, Making the Most of Technology to Drive Growth and Loan Quality. All lines are in listen only mode. This session is being recorded and will be available following the conference. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen. In addition, if you have technical issues, please also use the Q&A box and someone will assist you. Lastly, using the handouts icon, you will find links to speaker bios in the presentation deck. With that, I will turn it over to Christina Randolph, Senior Director of Technology Partnerships and Integration. Christina, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Cindy. Well, welcome and thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Christina Randolph and I lead partnerships and distributions within the Single Family Acquisitions Division. Today's session is about optimizing technology to drive growth and loan quality. And with today's market, knowing that lenders use many different pieces of technology, we know that there are many challenges our sellers face when it comes to providing financing for homebuyers and current homeowners, all while trying to remain profitable. We also know how challenging it's been for software vendors and other fintechs and data providers within the ecosystem to be able to keep up with the rapid rate of change and innovation and to continue to provide value to their clients. So today I'm excited to be joined by two great thought leaders here in single family acquisitions to talk a little bit about how we at Freddie Mac view and approach technology delivery and innovation, and how we are not only trying to listen to you, our clients and our partners, and the problems you're trying to solve, but also how we engage and how we hope to interact with you to help you adopt and implement our tools to make your businesses successful in not only this market, but really any kind of economic cycle. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my colleagues, Kevin Kaufman, Vice President and Head of Seller Engagement, and Brandon Rush, Vice President and Head of Digital Experience. So welcome to you both.
Hey, Christina. It's great to be here.
Thanks. So Kevin and Brandon, would you mind just giving a quick bit of background about yourselves and your respective roles here at Freddie Mac?
Sure, I'll go. So Kevin Kaufman, I head up our seller engagement division, which consists of our sales organization along with single family marketing, client experience, our call center, and partnerships. I think if you really think about it, the best way to put it in your mind is anything that touches the client in the business that you do with us. So all third parties that interact with Freddie Mac single family business.
And I'm Brandon Rush. Glad to be here today, Head of Digital Experience for our acquisitions business. And the way to think about what my team does is really we're responsible for the end-to-end experience of all the tools that you use to sell a loan to Freddie Mac. So that's the technology, that's the design, that's how we bring the change to market. I've been with Freddie Mac about 9 years. Grew up in the capital markets part of the business, and happy to be a member of the acquisitions team.
Great. And sort of just a little bit of background about myself too. My team engages with software partners and other ecosystem players to distribute our tools and capabilities through technology integration. So, for our audience members who don't know, I work very closely with both Kevin and Brandon to kind of understand how we can be effective, change agents within the industry using the technology tools that we provide to the market. So we always get a lot of questions, right, from sellers, software partners, other industry participants about what we're doing to help move the ball forward. So I kind of wanted to spend some time today and take some of these questions and pose them to you both live and give our audience some real-time insights into your thought process. So just as a little bit of background, I know today we talk a lot about and we hear a lot about how to achieve a frictionless mortgage process. From your perspectives, what are some of the current barriers you both hear about in today's housing market?
So I'll kind of start and really just start with a little bit of a promotion on a session that you'll have an opportunity to see tomorrow with our chief economist, Sam Cater. And so he's going to be able to walk you through in great detail. And I'll tell you, as many times as I get to hear the economic updates from Sam and his team or others, I can't hear it enough. I think those of us who are living through this market and have lived through past turns in the market, really, there's not a lot of positive news right now. And I think everybody gets it, right? So the purchase demand's soft. The mortgage rates are in the mid to high sevens. Inventory is continuing to decline due to chronic undersupply. And so you start to put those things in perspective and you start to, you feel gloom and doom. And so do we think that this winter and into next spring, it's still going to be a tough market from the causes of inflation, from the causes of supply? I think we all feel it. But what we do know, for those of us who have been doing this for a long time, is this is cyclical. We are going to feel a difference. So when that happens, are you thinking about technology? Are you thinking about tools in a way that are going to help you succeed? And so from my thought process, you feel this market now, and you should be thinking about it as an opportunity. And how you think about it as an opportunity, it's hard, because when you're not really making money the same way you were in the last refinance boom, you should be thinking about how you get to the next uptick in market by investing in technologies and doing different things. And I think, again, I just want to just highlight Sam's session tomorrow. I think you really, really should hear it. And it's something you should be thinking about. And I know Brandon's going to touch on some additional content of how we can turn these things into your mindset into something that becomes fruitful for the next market.
And, Kevin, what you said is kind of really important. So, even in this kind of cycle, it's important to start thinking about the investments we want to make for the next upturn. And so we sort of are kind of hearing that budgets are very tight in this market. And we know that our partner resources are really more precious than they've ever been before. And, at the same time, there's kind of a recognition that collectively Freddie Mac and our partners need to make some investments to improve loan quality end to end. And, we're also conscious that you have a lot on your plate, and we want to reduce the cost of adopting change and integrating our technology. And so I think the real challenge for us as we partner with you is to think how we can invest wisely together.
Yeah, that's great. And in kind of the same vein, but maybe a different spin, out of all of those sort of factors that you were hearing or you're seeing in the market, what are the key themes that you're hearing, right, from sellers and tech partners in terms of their own priorities and some of the feedback that they've been, giving to you or to us?
Yeah, I can sort of start. I mean, we've been sitting down with sellers, in some sort of on-site meetings and at conferences. I think what I've certainly heard is they really care about the efficiency in their interaction with Freddie Mac and our tools, and especially in this kind of market, and that it's really important that we show up consistently across all aspects of our partnership and all aspects of our business, and that the reliability and availability of our technology is really important throughout the day and overnight. So Kevin, I know you've been also thinking about some other aspects of kind of end to end, what can we do?
So I want to take the opportunity to say it's amazing to hear you say those things, Brandon, right? So as we kind of talk about it, that cost component is something that we care about so tremendously. And so as Brandon mentioned, we sit down and we've heard it from you. The kind of why we wanted to pull everybody together from this group and talk to you is we understand that doing business with Freddie Mac doesn't mean solely doing business with Freddie Mac. You have so many different parts of your business that are relying on third-party service providers. And that's why we have a group like Christina's group that interacts with them. That's why we have so many conversations with Brandon and team when we talk about the importance of integration. So few of you are interacting with Freddie Mac through any type of user interface. You're interacting through us through technology solutions that you have purchased in the market that we need to truly understand your release cycles. We need to truly understand what their release cycles are, how they have to accept our tools. And as Christina mentioned, like her role of distribution and the importance of that, to make that a part of our DNA, when we start thinking about how to simplify the end-to-end process, it's inclusive of those tools. There's another session that we're doing, and it's in partnership with ICE Mortgage Technologies. The importance of that is to actually, and why we wanted to show that, is to say we're thinking about your business from true end to end. And so we'll elaborate a little bit more on that. But the idea is we're not going to assume that we connect with you on our own. We have to truly understand your entire business model, from the channels that you originate in, to how you service, to all of the technologies from start to finish. And if we truly understand those things, back to, as Brandon mentioned, we want to reduce that friction, reduce that cost in doing business with Freddie Mac. So we care about that tremendously.
Yeah, and that's actually a great segue to sort of the next topic that I wanted to kind of talk about, and looking sort of within and talk more about and pull that thread a little bit more in looking at Freddie Mac's philosophy for overcoming these barriers to help lenders succeed. And again, I echo those sentiments that I wanted to make sure I brought leadership to this session to kind of talk through those things, because I know I can certainly talk, from my perspective, as you mentioned, Kevin, from my seat, it's about really developing strong partnerships with the suppliers that our lenders use, and really being committed to their success to then in turn help lenders who are our mutual clients optimize the tech that they already have, especially in a market like this. One of the groups I oversee is responsible mainly for managing our relationships with commercial software platforms like loan origination systems. And that is a majority of what our lenders are very heavily reliant on to manufacture a loan, and a high quality one at that. So we feel, right, that we have a responsibility to keep them informed of and educated about new initiatives and enhancements, and really the implementation timelines around anything on our roadmap. So whether that's around our asset and income modeler, or integrating to our flagship product, LPA, any changes to messages or products or APIs, we engage very regularly and are always available to help translate requirements, give real-time file validation feedback, help triage integration issues, right? And we certainly try to make every effort to give them as much advance notice as possible of what's coming down the pike, so they can analyze the impact of the change, allocate resources, and really plan how to go to market with their customer base, who again, are majority our mutual clients. And I think that's all with, this goal of being the best possible integration partner, right, to our lenders by way of their most widely used vendor within the business side of their tech stack. So it's important to make sure that we enable as much of that tech as possible within the origination system. So lenders, especially those that may not have a ton of dev resources, they can literally have their users log in every day, right, with as much of the latest and greatest versions of code, with hopefully little to no disruption, right, in their day-to-day. So for us, for my group, it's about helping our distribution partners establish this level of trust and add value to our mutual clients. And I think that's what strong partnerships are really all about. And that's kind of what we focus on in my group.
Real quick,
Brandon,
can you highlight, Christina?
Yeah.
Can you just highlight kind of the makeup of your team and why?
Mm-hmm.
Right, I think that's important part of the story that you're hitting on, and I think the audience here, I think it'd be a ton of value for them to understand the skill sets that help achieve that goal that you described.
Yeah, no doubt. I have a pretty small team, and we cover about 10 different types of ecosystem partnerships, right? So point of sale, loan origination, data verification, fintech providers, collateral providers, forms, you name it, right? Credit reporting companies, right? So there's a lot of different, because we know that, lenders nowadays have no less than 10 different third parties that they use to manufacture a mortgage, right? So it's important that, I think you mentioned this comment early on, that it's not just about us going directly to lenders to say, hey, use our tools. We really want to think about how do we embed those tools into the third parties that they use, that they pay for already today, to make it as seamless as possible of a process, and to be able to realize those greater efficiencies, to lower costs and improve not only the lender's experience in interacting with our tools, but in turn, that's going to improve their consumers and bring them more customers, bring them more business, because they're satisfying the needs of the clients that are coming to them, that are looking for financing, looking for options and mortgage. And the makeup of the team is a lot of people that came from the primary market. So they've actually touched a loan in the past. They understand all of the different hurdles at every milestone in the process. They've worked directly with customers and consumers. I know I've sat directly across from home buyers, right? And people that are homeowners that are refinancing. And, it's hard to always get, somebody to say, I love doing a mortgage every day, right? It's kind of hard because there's so many different pieces, but that's because there's so many different pieces of technology and people and process in place on the lender side. And, we feel like it's our job and our responsibility to kind of make those things as seamless as possible, really. And that's kind of what we try to focus on, at least from the technology aspect. So Brand, I'll turn it over to you. Given your large role in overseeing how our tools are developed, right, and rolled out to the market, could you just share some of your thoughts here as well?
Mm-hmm.
Love to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, your role is so important, to what my team does, for our sellers. I mean, we really rely on that connectivity that you give us to our partners. And, I know the conversation that the three of us have had often is, how can we get creative at, being able to move at a faster pace, delivering loan products and features to sellers who are ready to adopt that change, while also not disrupting, sellers who aren't ready at this time. As you said, many sellers have limited technology staff. We rely very much on our partners to sort of integrate. And so when we think about the way that we architect our solutions, right, we're really trying to think about how we can minimize the amount of change that sellers actually have to absorb and test. And, one of the things that we've been doing really over the last couple of years is really modernizing our underlying platform. We've been breaking down very large monolithic, systems into much more smaller granular services that are easier to test, change, and deploy, and limit, sort of the impact and cost to our sellers when we're trying to test and deploy features. And you hit on something, I think also, early in the conversation, which is really, how do we think about creating a more extensive use of APIs so that we have more flexible points of integration?
Yeah, that's great. So let's probably expand on a few of these things that we just touched on. And this is where I get really excited, because I know that we have these conversations a lot internally. And I always love to be able to bring these forward, to external audiences, for people to hear about how you guys, think about and what your vision is. So could you just elaborate a little bit from each of your perspectives? What's your vision really for working with sellers to help them be successful, despite the market headwinds?
So I'll jump in. I think the best way to think about it is we talk about it here. It starts with we're here to provide liquidity and stability to the market, right? First and foremost. We're here to help create affordable loans. We're here to do so in a way that manages risk to the industry. And that's a shared risk to the industry. And so we touched on some of this prior, but you'll hear us talk about trusted advisor engagements. And what does that mean to you? And so when we think about technologies that we deliver, engagements that we have, again, we're trying to do it in a way that helps make it do business with Freddie Mac in the easiest possible way. And when you think about these things, your business is much more than just that transaction of delivering a loan to Freddie Mac, of getting pricing from Freddie Mac. And so by bringing people in who have sat in a seat, like Christina mentioned, where we've brought in people who have built LOS systems, POS systems, product and pricing engines, and you go, why would you have those skill sets? And the idea is that we can develop tools that make it easier for you to do business. And when we think about it, it's not just about that interaction point, it's about all interaction points of your business. If we launch and have a discussion around AIM, are we actually showing you what the value is to AIM? It's not just about implementing one single point of AIM because, hey, it gives data from the source. It's about doing it away in an optimal state that helps reduce costs, create a better borrower experience, and helps you retain the talent as a part of your organization. And some folks have really struggled with that over the years. And so what we've done is say, how do we help you build out your business case? How do we show you the financial impact to your organization? That not only do you order a third-party service, but then you don't do something else as a result. How do you market to consumers who really care about creating an application, fulfilling an application from your phone? Like how do you do that? How do you look at it from that aspect? We're thinking about your business through the entire lifeline, not just the transaction of Freddie Mac. And that's what being a trusted advisor from our seat is knowing all of the aspects that are important to your business. And that's why we look to hire people who have sat in your seats, who have engaged with you in a way that's truly unique, that cares about your business. Christina mentioned it kind of in the opening is, in this market and as difficult as it is, and Brandon's talked about how do we reduce those costs, we live it. We feel it. These are actually sessions that we work in problem solving every day of the week. And by order to do so, we have to leverage data. And so one of the things that we try to do, you'll hear us ask you, right? Tell us about your loan origination system. Tell us about how you take a release. Tell us about how quickly you're able to consume something of ours. Tell us who your doc provider is, who your MI provider, and you go, why? Why are these things important? Because for us, when we make change and that pace of change as quick as it could possibly be, that we're thinking about you and your seat and that business to say, if we change this with this MI provider, is there an impact? And if so, let's identify who you are and have a conversation in that planning session that's going to make you successful in making that change. And that's just one example of how we're looking to leverage data about you and how we're trying to be smarter about you and why we're engaging in a way that's truly unique, that's making it feel more than a transaction in doing business with Freddie Mac. Brandon, you want to add some stuff around the technology side?
Yeah, just picking up on the sharing of data. I think one of the things that, we've been talking about as well is as we modernize our systems, we have this opportunity to share more data with you about usage statistics, to be proactive with you, to sort of maybe help you understand when you might have released something that may have gone bump in the night, or whether we did and that's causing you an issue. And so we think a lot about how we can use this kind of data and telemetry to be a better partner with you. I think a key part, that you also sort of hit on, Kevin, is kind of this early sharing of roadmaps, because we realize that there's a lot of coordination that we have to do with you across our integration partners and across our sellers. And one of the ways, that we try to think about how we minimize any disruption to you is as we've been modernizing our systems, we've really adopted this extensive use of automated testing. Everything that we roll out into production relies on extensive automated testing, and that gives us a lot of confidence that we're going to reduce defects and we're going to make the experience for you very predictable and very seamless. And one of the other things that we're also sort of thinking about, in today's world is, we think about ourselves as sort of being sort of very reliable and stable utility for you. And in this world of elevated cyber concerns, a lot of the practices that we've adopted in going to the cloud and automating our testing and being more frequent in how we release to production means that we can respond more quickly to fix vulnerabilities, which makes us a much more reliable partner for you. And probably something I'm really excited about, Kevin, you were sort of talking a little bit about how we're sort of organized as a team, is we're creating this human-centered design practice, and we're partnering with Kevin's team to really get early feedback, from all of you about the end-to-end experience of what it's like to use our tools, what it's like to use our APIs, and even what the process is like behind that. And we use that early design thinking to create a better experience. And it's a new thing that we've done. It's something that we piloted in a couple of products, and I'm really excited, to sort of bring this kind of expertise to bear for you.
Well, I'm really excited for that as well, because we've talked about this. My team interacts with you a lot, and your team, and it impacts. It makes a difference, right? Of how we interact with our integration partners, right? And knowing that a majority, I think the number is somewhere like 85%, right, of our lenders are dependent upon a commercial platform, right, to run their manufacturing business for loans. The other 10, 15%, they are, they manage their own proprietary integrations, but they still have to know that same information, know the same timelines to be able to plan and allocate resources and know how to budget, right, and plan for all of those changes. And we talk a lot about, that change management. So I'm excited between, interacting with sellers, interacting with partners, and interacting with your group internally, right, that we're putting together sort of a new framework in such a way that, we are listening to our constituents and being able to solve like actual problems that we're hearing, instead of us just being the folks that roll things out and say, you got X amount of time to integrate and good luck, right? It's just not what we're all about. It's not how we interact. We try to take a very thoughtful approach, right, and deliberate approach to all these interactions. Well, it looks like we're running a little short on time. This flew by. I guess I'll just throw out one last question to you both. What would be the single most important thing that you would want our customers, our viewers today to understand or walk away with from today's session?
I think from my point of view, the most important thing is we're your partner, and we endeavor to be as reliable and simple as a light switch when you use our platform. It's really what we talk about, and we want the experience of doing business with us to be intuitive, simple, and really efficient.
I love it. Thank you, Brandon, because as the person who is on the front of interacting with all of our great clients, that's what we ask for. And I think for me, I'm just going to add to it, right? It's nothing different. When you think about Freddie Mac, if you walk away, I want you to think about picking up the phone and doing business with Freddie Mac for any reason in your business, right? We can help you. We have professionals at every level of what you do in your business, of people who have sat in your seat, people who have engaged in your seat. I think with our new leadership of single family acquisitions with Sonu and Shankar, you think about how strong we are as an organization. It starts with them, but it goes down to every level in our company. And so what I want you to walk away with is we're here to help. We're here to engage. No matter what the problem is within your business, we do want to be your trusted advisor, and we're here to engage with you. So I thank you for your business, and I thank you for your partnership.
I couldn't agree more with any of those statements and sentiments. So thank you both for joining me today. Well, unfortunately, we are just about out of time. But before we go, I just wanted to recommend some other technology-related sessions. This was just the beginning for our technology innovation sessions. But shortly after this, we do have one called Getting to Accept, Don't Miss a Homeownership Opportunity, which will have some great best practices for using LPA and the messaging and making it actionable. We do have another one, Kevin referenced it, Unleashing Your Digital Potential Through Partnership, which does, promote one of our strategic partners, and I don't think you want to miss that one. And we have many other session topics covering things like AIM, e-mortgage, APIs, and many more. So please definitely check those out. Sincere thanks to my colleagues, Kevin and Brandon, for joining me, and especially to our attendees for spending some time with us today. And we hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Christina, Kevin, and Brandon. That's all the time for today. And we want to let you know your opinion is important. So please take a few moments to take our brief survey so we can continue to bring you timely and relevant content. This presentation will be available after the session, and you can log in anytime after the conference to play back this or any other session. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the conference.